Well, Rush EVO, HPI Rush EVO. Never really given it. Well, I used to clean it a fair bit when I was a kid, but I never really went in depth. I'd literally probably just brush it a little bit. Now and again, I'll tell you, and I mean now and again, I'd I'd sit on my bed, because when I was a kid, never had nothing, you know, like I did when I was a bit older as a teenager. I had like a shed thing in the garden, but when I first got this, never had anything. I had my bedroom, and that was it really. The garden was just a garden, didn't have any sheds or really anything in it at that point. So there's me, 8 or 9 years old. No, probably a bit older, maybe 10, 11, don't know. Anyway, doesn't matter. Sitting in my bedroom. Now and again, I'd get the Savage and that Rush, and I'd sit on my bed, put like a towel out, and I'd just take things off and clean them. But that was very rare. It was rare. So we're going to give it a bit of a clean. More than 20 years later. More than 20 years later. I've got a bit of degreaser. This is my little degreasing spray bottle thing. I write degreaser on it because I forget what I put in it, and I thought, is it brake cleaner? What is it? I have to sniff it, so I just wrote on it degreaser. And I've got this stuff. No nonsense, heavy duty degreaser. Some people probably say it's no good. I think it's really good. I use that for cleaning real full-size engines. That stuff, pretty good. It does clean everything. You have to sit it and let it dwell for a little bit, but it does do quite a good job. I might take the engine out. I wasn't going to take the engine out, but I think I'll probably take the engine out, and I'm going to give all this a good old clean. Spray it with degreaser, and yeah, see how well we can get it to shine. What I was going to do, I forgot I was going to tell you. I've got these. I've actually got 4 of them. I think they're from some sort of truggy. I'm not really sure. They got sent to me with a load of other stuff that popped up in the PO box one day. Now, these cross-pattern tyres are extremely rare. They're literally rarer than anything that you can imagine in the world that's rare. Because, for one, any second-hand, what you might call a parts buggy or parts car, they've still got these tyres on them, they're going to be worn out because they're quite soft compound, and they're notorious for wearing out fast, especially if you used it on anything other than grass, tarmac, anything, even gravel, whatever. They wear out really, really fast. It took me ages to get those, and I think it was a subscriber that sent me these ones in the PO box one time. They said, I've got some tyres. I'm pretty sure it was. I might have bought them, or they might have been sent. It was a long time ago anyway, a couple of years ago, that someone sent me these because mine was worn out. You can't buy them brand new to my knowledge, and as I say, getting second-hand ones is very, very hard to come by that are in good condition. So I don't want to wear them out. So I want to use my car, but I don't want to wear them out. So I'm going to see if I can get these to fit. Got the same hexes. It's just the dish that I think might be a bit of a problem. They might, don't know, it depends how deep the dish is compared to these ones, because otherwise it'll hit the exhaust if it goes in too far. Do you know what I mean? But we'll have a look if I can get these to fit. I'm going to put these on, so that only on the back though, so that the next time I use this I'm wearing these out and not these ones. So it'd look strange, it would look funny, but I don't care. I don't want to wear these tyres out. God, I'm actually a little bit, well, I say actually, I mean, I get excited for everything. I mean, I just bloody well love life. I mean, it ain't bad at all really, is it? But I'm actually quite excited to see this little Rush all nice and clean. I've actually, like, every now and again I get this proper spout of nostalgia. And at the moment, proper nostalgia. Like the Savages, they do give me nostalgia. A Savage, you know, but I've got my old Savage. But this Rush, you know, it was always, it's funny to say, but it was always like the second choice. You know, now I'd usually get the Savage out when I was a kid. Usually it would be the Savage 21. But now and again, I'd be like, I'm going to get the Rush out. And I'd get the Rush out. And I'd always say to myself, why didn't I just get this one out anyway, like to start with? Why did it have to be a second choice? Like, to think, well, I think I'll just get the Rush. Why did it have to be like that? Why didn't I just, you know, I always used to think that. And now, as an adult, you know, this Rush sat on the shelf because I've always sort of thought, it's only the Rush, innit? Blah, 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 you know the story. But I put new screws in the bottom of this. I can't remember what they are. Are they bloody Allen's? Hello, Allen head. Because I had to drill this out, if you remember. I don't know whether you lot were here remembering this with me or what. But I had to drill all this out to put. What the bloody hell was that with that? So it's stuck in it. I had to drill all this out. Don't tell me I've put super glue in it or something. What's happened here? Oh, there we go. Right. Yeah, I drilled new holes in the bottom of the engine because they were all stripped out. So, oh bloody hell. So now, oh no, don't tell me, why don't that fit? Oh, that was lucky. I might have to put a new bolt in there. That one's a bit funny. Oh no, these aren't very good at all. I don't know why I've done that for. If these round off, I've had it. Oh, it's going. That was lucky. I thought that was going to round. I really did think that was going to round. I don't know what's happened here then. I might have to find some new bolts, because that's no good. That's no good at all. Well, I've just come across the first bloody problem I didn't think I was going to have. I didn't think I was going to have that problem, I'll tell you that now. That one's a good one. I'm going to have to, so before I put this engine back in, I'm going to have to find something's happened. I'll tell you what it is. It's because these are, what would you call these? Round top, I know, bloody, it's a bit of a gay name for a minute. But it's because these need to be, whatchamacallit, bolts, bloody flathead ones or whatever, that go into that hole. That way they don't hit the ground and they don't get scuffed, because what's happened is, you can see the yellow paint, that's from that speed bump the other week. And that's just going to knock the heads off of these bolts. And then I won't be able to undo them. And then we're going to have the problem that I've already got. I nearly had. So I'm going to have to find some new screws or bolts to use when I put this engine back in. But that's alright. That's alright. You live and learn. I should have thought of that really when I put them in. But I didn't. I just put them in and had a good life in between then and now. So now I can redo that. Anyway, so let's take off the exhaust. I'm going to cover the engine in degreaser as well. Give all that a bit of a clean. Now usually that degreaser you'd wash it off with water, but I'm not going to wash it off with any water. I'm going to blow it off with air and use a brush and paint and all that other rubbish. I might as well do it up here on the bench. Look, I was going to put it on the floor and do it. I might as well do it on the bench. Just spray a load of it everywhere. Look, I probably could take the tank out, but I can't be bothered to do that. You think I'll be bothered to take that tank out? You've got another thing coming. Bloody hell, what do you think I am? Yeah, I'm just going to put this on here, let it do its thing. Let it do its soaking in. Every cleaner thing like that has got what's called a dwelling time. Dwelling time. That's the amount of time it takes to dwell. And by dwell, I mean the amount of time it takes to do its job. I wonder if it tells you. Dilute 5 capsules in 5 litres of warm water. Oh, well, I haven't done that. I never do that. Rinse with clean water after use. For stubborn spot cleaning, use product neat. That's what I always do. I always use it neat. No, it doesn't tell you how long you should leave it for it to do its job, which is unusual because normally they do. But anyway, products have a dwelling time, and that's how long it takes to start breaking down the dirt and do its job, basically. We just found out I haven't got a clue what the dwelling time is for this particular cleaner, but we'll leave it on there for a few minutes, let it do its thing, let it start breaking down all that dirt. Just got it all over the brake disc, all over the brake pad and everything, so that's great. That's definitely going to be just what I want. I've got all it. Can you see already the dirt starting to come off? Look, there it is. Look, it's all starting to just fall off. Great. As I said, I'm not gonna use water to wash this off. I'm gonna get a toothbrush in a minute, agitate it a bit, and then we'll go from there. I've gone down to the floor because the old workbench was getting bloody flooded. Anyway, so I know some of you would probably take the wheels off to get in the axles and all that other rubbish. I might do that later on, but I don't know. I was sitting indoors and something just come over me. Do you know what I mean? Something literally just clicked in my head and went, "Come on, Orinoco, let's go and give that poor old Nitro Rush Evo a bit of a clean." And I said, "Are you sure?" And it said to me, "I'm very sure. Let's go." So I said, "All right then, let's go. Give the old Rush Evo a bit of a clean. Happy days." So here we are, giving the Rush Evo a bit of a clean. You must listen to that voice. That pops up now and again. It's, you know, it do you good. You know, make you do things that you wouldn't be doing otherwise. You know what I mean? And you think to yourself, "What's the bloody point in that?" But then once you've done it, you say to your little voice, "Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much for telling me to do that, because now I've got this and it's much better than it was before." You know? Love it. Let's give the engine a bit of a clean. There's many ways I could be cleaning this, and I know some of you are going to be going, "Just do this, just do that. You should have done this, you should have done that." But my answer to all of that is I don't care. Because I've done this. And by the time you see this, I'd already have done it. Because obviously it wouldn't be a video if I hadn't have already have done it. You know, you're actually looking at the past at the moment, you know. I'm in the present because I'm doing this now. But when you're watching this, you're watching me in the past. So this has all already happened. So you telling me what I should do is pointless because I've already done it. Do you know what I mean? So this is perfectly adequate for my goal. Anyway, let's go and get the old air and give it a blow. Alright, as I'm sure that you can see, this is now bloody minty perfect. I mean, I could never, ever have asked for this to turn out any better than it did. I mean, this is now brand new. I mean, this is just so clean. That stuff's really good, and I'll tell you what, it helps having a bit of air, a bit of compressed air. So if you haven't got a compressor and you want a compressor, go to SGS Engineering. That's I've got my compressor from. They do all types. They even do little ones. So go there. They've actually come a long way to SGS. I mean, I've got quite a few of their bits and bobs. And over the years, the last sort of 15 years or so, I've been buying their stuff. I've got a toolbox. I've got all sorts of stuff from SGS. Good place to go. So it's a shame they stopped selling Ryobi though. Started selling bloody expensive Milwaukee or whatever it is they sell now. Anyway, so that is that. That is minty fresh now. The engine is also freshly mint. Look at that. It's like a brand new engine. You couldn't ask for better than that, could you? Absolutely perfect. You splattered? No, I thought you got splattered in for a minute, but you didn't. Anyway, look at that. Couldn't ask for better. So, I've come across a problem I didn't know. These are the wrong type, because what it is, because those rounded, I forget what you bloody call. You know when something's on the end of your tongue and you can't remember what it is. That is the wrong type because it sticks out, and what happens is the bits of dirt, the pavement, or whatever, scuff that, and then it rounds off the top of your bolt, and then you can't do it. I don't know why I didn't think of that at the time. I should know better. But you know, you do stuff and you think, oh, and then afterwards when something happens you think, you dickhead, why didn't I do that properly? So I need to find, I've got this little drawer of nuts and bolts here I've collected over the years, added to it here and there. So I need to find some that are the right size. See, that's too small. I need to find some that are the right size that are going to go in, and they're going to go in, you know, in the little groove. Now what is this? Oh, that's the same as that though, so that's no good. That's no good. The other option I could do is I could countersink. I could countersink the holes at the bottom of this chassis a bit more so that those bolts do go in. I could do that. But for now, let's see if I can, so I don't have to do that. Let's see if I can find an adequate 4 screws or bolts. What I need bolts like this with the head on them that's flat. Yeah, because the ones that I've been using, they're rounded. Can you see the difference? See, that's the type I need. That's the type I was using. So I need to find some like that, but see, this one's going to be too skinny, you see, because I had to drill these holes out and retap them with bigger bolts because the holes in this engine were stripped out. And I've got this engine, it's a second-hand engine, it's not the engine that was originally in this buggy, it's a second-hand one that a subscriber sent me. But that's all I had to do, so really I was on to a winner. Anyway, let's have a look. I've got a little tub of nuts and bolts and screws. I dropped it the other day and they went everywhere, so they was all in order, but now they're not. They're all mixed up now, so you know, it's a shame, and I can't be bothered to go through them all and make them all in order again. It's clear here these are all far too small. None of these are going to be any good for anything. I've got another one, but that's no good either. Look, none of them are ever going to be any good for what I need at the moment. So I'll put that back. No, that's a shame. Right, give me a couple of minutes. I'm just going to go and I think that's going to be fat enough either. No, I'm just going to go and have a rummage around, see if I can find 4 bolts that would fit. Right, I've been rummaging around in here, and I've been in a couple of other pots, and I found one that was what I needed, but it's a little bit rounded off. The Allen driver did fit in it fine, but it looks a little bit rounded off. It's the right length, the right size, and the right type, but I've only got one of them, and this one's not the best. So, but I did manage to find some more that the same type of what I already had, but they're brand new more or less. You see, they're not even in the slightest bit rounded. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these newer ones in that aren't so rounded. These are the old ones, 2 of the old ones. They were starting to get a little bit rounded and starting to get a little bit worn away. So I'm going to put them back in the pile to find and try to use another day, and then realise, why did I put them back in there for? They were no good. But then I'll do the same with that one. Put that back in there and I'll get it out one day and I'll go, why did I put that back in there for? It's bloody rounded off. But that's alright. This is where the nuts and bolts live. Never throw anything away, even if you think it's no good, because one day you'll need something, you'll go in the tub and you'll go, that's not the best, but it's better than what I have got. So even if you think I think one of these is rounded off, yeah, a little bit rounded, I might have another bolt the same as this one day, which is completely rounded and completely useless. This is better than that one. So keep stuff, even if you think it's no good, because like I say, one day you might have something which is worse than what you've got here, but this can save you. This can get you out of trouble. I've been trying to declutter, trying to get rid of a load of stuff, and I've thrown a load of stuff away. But now I'm coming across things, little jobs here and there that need to be done, and I'm thinking to myself, oh man, I had, you know, some of them or some of that, and I've only just thrown it away, and I could really do with that right now, you know, that thing, whatever it is. You know, there's loads of stuff, plugs and wires and 13 amp fuses. I threw loads of them away. The other day I needed a fuse. I didn't have one. I threw them all away. You know, what a cock. So never throw stuff away. It comes in bloody handy. For example, the other day I was looking for a copper washer for a glow plug. I knew I had one in this little drawer and I couldn't find it. I've just found it. Look, there's the copper washer for this glow plug. So I'm going to put that on the shelf, and I'm going to put the old glow plug back in that engine now, because I was looking for a copper washer for the old glow plug. I couldn't find it, so I got a new glow plug out and put a new glow plug in it. But it didn't need a new glow plug because the glow plug that was in it was fine. It just didn't have a copper washer. But see, now I can put one in it because it's got a copper washer. In fact, I'm going to do that in a minute. Put the engine back in now. I know some of you are going to be going, ah, you ain't done it properly, you ain't done this, you ain't done that. Some of you lot are proper perfectionists, whereas I'm actually completely not. I mean, sometimes I do things and I go all the way. Like, for example, tell me if you're one of the people that does this, right? You open up a cupboard, or maybe you'll go to do a shelf, right? But usually you open up a cupboard, and you think in that cupboard is what you want is right at the back. So you're rummaging through and you think this cupboard's a bit of a mess. I think I'll clean the cupboard. So you get everything out the cupboard, you start cleaning it up, and you come across things and you think, well, that stuff don't really live in this cupboard. This cupboard is, for example, cleaning products, for cleaning stuff. This is a bottle of WD-40. Oh, well, WD-40 is not a good example because WD-40 can be good for cleaning, but you know what I mean. You got a bottle of oil, you got this, you got that, and you think, well, that don't go in this cupboard, so I'll put that on the table and I'll put that in another cupboard. Cleaner is, this cupboard's now perfectly done. It's all organised, all the labels are facing outwards, you know what you want, everything's in its place. You close the cupboard. You open up the next cupboard to put what you've just taken out of the first cupboard, put it in the second cupboard because now it's on the table. You open up the second cupboard, this cupboard's a bit of a mess. Okay. So then you get everything out of that cupboard and you go to clean that cupboard and you find more things that don't go in that cupboard. So then you've organised that cupboard and you've got a table full of stuff that don't go in either of those two cupboards. So you go in another cupboard or another shelf. Before you know it, you've cleaned and reorganised every shelf and cupboard in your room, home, shed, whatever it may be. Sometimes I do go quite perfectionist and just OCD about cleaning when it comes like that, because I can't clean one cupboard and put things that don't go in that cupboard back in again. It's alright if I can go for months and months and months opening that cupboard, getting stuff out, putting it back in, knowing that it's all mixed up and jumbled, but I don't care until one day when I want something right at the back and I'm like, this is just a mess, let's clean it now. Then I end up doing everything, the whole lot. If it's in the kitchen, I'll end up reorganising the pots and pan cupboard, plates and bowls and cups all over the place, reorganising the whole lot. Are you the same as me? I don't know, maybe, but that's just me sometimes. It's the same with RC cars. That's what I'm trying to say. I can go for months and months and months, even years, without even thinking about cleaning anything on a car. Literally use it, bring it home, stuff it back on the shelf and carry on with life. Don't even bat an eyelid, don't even think anything of it because it doesn't matter. It's a bit dirty, I mean, who cares? Nobody cares. But then one day I'll get a bit of a itch and I'll decide to give it a bit of a clean. Give it a little bit of a clean, move on with life. But then the next day, the next time I might go to give it a bit of a clean and I end up taking the whole thing apart and cleaning the whole lot. It's a very, very crazy thing. If any of you lot are the same as me, I don't know. Right, I know some of you are going to be saying you should be using a bit of thread lock. Well, I don't plan on keeping these bolts in here, and I don't trust the heads on some of them, like that one for example. That one is terrible. That's actually terrible. So I don't want to be putting thread lock on them, because what will happen is they'll then like that one, oh my giddy aunt, that one was a serious one. That one's a skipper, if ever I've seen a skipper. Anyway, the engine's not going to move because these aren't elongated holes that these are in. This is just holes, they're not elongated holes. So if these bolts come loose, the engine won't move enough, I don't think, to strip a spur gear. But if it does strip the spur gear, I'll just have to put a new gear on and suck it up, because it'll be my problem, my fault. You know, it's just one of those things. But for now, I think we'll leave it like that. I'm going to have to try and come across some actual proper nuts and bolts. Now that, let's just quickly, let's see, have I got a, where's that? Oh, there it is, a little spanner, look. Let's just see if I can get one of these wheels to fit, and if they'll fit, then we can move on with life there as well. If not, I'm just going to have to be careful with these ones. I don't want to break these ones. So that can go on there. Now let's see then. Is that going to go on there? The hex fits. Oh yeah, look at that. That ain't bad, is it? Let's get the little washer. Put the little washer in there. I have to tip it up a bit. There we go. Oh, this is good. This is going to save my tyres. It's going to look really weird, and it's not going to be ideal, but it's going to save my precious cross pattern tyres. It's definitely not going to look like a proper rush, but as I say, these tyres are bloody hen's teeth, I'm telling you. So getting hold of these tyres, I mean, that's something that HPI could do, you know. HPI, if you're watching this, make these tyres again, and make them bloody affordable as well. Don't go re-releasing them and making them bloody so expensive nobody can buy them. I mean, what's the point in that? We all know the tricks that you lot do. Don't be doing that. And put this on there. Oh man, I'm well happy these tyres fit. And because I've got 4 of these wheels, if I wear these ones out, I can just put the other pair on here. Because these are from a truggy, these wheels, from a 4-wheel drive truggy. There we go. Not perfect. Looks a bit weird, but sweet. Doesn't hit the exhaust or anything like that. There we go. Not bad at all. And it's a lot cleaner than it was. There's nothing really that's worn out on this. Everything is in good condition. I've still got to bend that back, but I'm not going to bother with that tonight. I'm running out of time now. My new suspension is doing, well, not my new suspension, my newly filled. All I've done was put new oil in it. I put 800 bloody CPS or whatever it is, S-Works oil in there. That's doing its job. I can't wait to take this out for a test drive with its suspension properly done. I think the next thing that I might do, I mean, this engine is running absolutely perfect. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. But I might see if I can get a rebuild kit for it. If I can, I might rebuild it. If not, we'll just leave it as it is. And maybe one day, when I become a millionaire, I'll get a different engine for it. Happy days, man. I'm over the bloody moon. I think I only got a few litres of degreaser inside that petrol tank. What the bloody hell am I talking about? Inside that nitro tank. The next thing to clean is the shell, but for now I'm going to leave the shell dirty because I quite like it. That looks so weird, doesn't it? I could put the other 2 wheels on the front to make it look even weirder, but I'm not. I'm going to leave it like that because I've only got them on, as I've said numerous times. I've only got these on because I don't mind wearing these ones down. Just got to look after these, man. Got to look after them. I'm going to give them a dry because they're a bit dirty on the inside. Give them a clean and a dry. Nice. Well, there we go, you lot. HPI Rush EVO. Ignore the shell. I'm going to clean the shell next. I'm not going to clean the shell now because I want to spend a bit of time on it because I want the stickers to come off. So I'm going to spray it with degreaser and all on the inside and that, and give it a clean and a polish. And we'll make that looking nice and good one day. But look at that. That's come out absolutely perfect. It's literally like brand new. Couldn't ask for any better than that. I mean, you know, what I would like to get, because this air filter was a bit big. Back in the day, we had these little air filters. They were like this, had a little tube like that, but they were smaller than that, and they were just a lot better, you know. But I can't. I've looked everywhere and I can't get them anymore. That's the closest match I can get, and it's too big. It just looks not very good. So I'm going to try and find a period correct air filter for it at some point. Happy days, you lot, happy days. Well, there we go. Thanks for watching. If you like the Rush EVO, stick around. Think about subscribing. Just think about it for a minute. Maybe you'd like to, maybe you wouldn't, but maybe you would. Because, you know, as I say, if I grow, you lot will grow with me. And we'll have loads of interesting stuff like that. The next thing for me to try and do is to get the Savage Octane to be working properly. It runs like a bloody, minty, dreamy summer's day at the moment. But I need to set up the throttle linkages because when you do full throttle, it only does about 3/4 throttle on the actual carb, on the engine itself. So I need to set the linkages up properly so that it actually reaches and does, because at the moment it's just, I'll explain in that video. But if you want to see the Savage Octane have its linkages set up properly, think about sticking around for that as well, because that will come up in the next probably couple of days, maybe next week some point. I don't know, I really don't know. How am I supposed to know when things are going to happen? I can't predict the future. All I can say is happy days. Treat people nice, treat people how you want to be treated. Hopefully we'll all have a good happy life if everybody's actually nice to each other and we all get along. Cheerio, all the best, you lot. Take care.